take this opportunity now, as ward councillor as well as chairman. I normally let the members have their say, but I have to say that the deputies have spoken eloquently. They have covered practically every point that I want to make. So I'll be brief and deal with just 1 or 2 points. Councillor Bell and I have spent some considerable time talking to as many residents that were in or around when we were going around talking to them. There's a thread that runs through what's been said. We've dealt with the rat running. Our highways officer has told us about rat running. People have mentioned the current state of the land, and 1 or 2 people have said, well, it's just a scrappy old patch, doesn't really matter. Let it go for something useful. I think a lot of people recognise there's a housing need, that we have young people coming on who need houses. So I don't think, generally speaking, from the hundreds of people we've spoken to, that there was a NIMBY attitude about that question. It's just that this piece of land is not allocated. We have allocated Wellbourne. It has been approved by an inspector. We are expecting applications to come forward on it. That will build in all the requirements. This piece of land, and I'll move on to the next piece that people have said, literally hundreds of people have said, and it's the main issue, 120 homes will bring on already oversubscribed doctor surgeries, lack of school places and provision of other services. It was interesting at the appeal on the Navigator site that the inspector said, when he was questioned about that same situation at the Navigator's appeal, said that's for the providers to furnish. Well, of course, we all know that when you add on bits and pieces here, there and everywhere, it does not provide. There are no more doctors, there are no more school places. This application offers a bit of open space, surrounded by hedges, which is supposed to be a children's play area. I wouldn't want my child playing in an area where it couldn't be overlooked. And you have to think in terms of, where is this close to? It's close to Wicker Recreation Ground, which has all the facilities. It's got a skate park, it's got all that. So a question, the need and the necessity that close to such a large open space with all those provisions on it, that we need that. What it doesn't do is put a school classroom in, it doesn't put another doctor in the surgery, yeah, and it doesn't help the road situation down there. I'm not an NIMBY. I have always spoken out and tried to protect. Over 30 years I've always come up for election and I've said I expect to see open space protected. I have supported many applications in Porchester over the past few years for infilling. We've had houses where 3 have been taken out, blocks of flats have gone in, 30 dwellings here and there, and I dare say there'd be more. Those are sites that, if we need housing, they would be suitable. This site is not suitable. It's outside the urban area, and it's a haven of wildlife. I mean, the number of people who brought out photographs and said, look, here's deer, badgers, foxes, what have I got? Geese, Brent geese, many other bird species. And that's not to mention the reptiles that are on the site as well. Councillor Evans and I, I'll just diversify. Councillor Evans and I recently attended a 2-day training course run by the Planning Advisory Service on site viability issues. There were 2 speakers there, one of which was a retired developer. Both of these speakers told us and told the gathered councillors on the need to enter into discussion with developers and to work with them to promote suitable sites for housing, steer them towards suitably council-promoted sites and steer them away from unacceptable sites. Perhaps Persimmon should have talked to us earlier. This is not a suitable site. Perhaps I'd like to steer them to Wellbourne. I mean, let's face it, there's 6,000 houses going there. Perhaps they could get some options on building some houses there. I turn then to the report. 14 policy reasons. When we refuse applications, members come up with 1 or 2 reasons to refuse an application. There are 14 policy reasons here alone to refuse this site. So I have to say to you, the young people of Porchester don't want this development, the middle-aged people of Porchester don't want it, and certainly the old people don't want it. The Porchester 5 councillors of different persuasions don't want it. The 3 amenity groups, Porchester Society, Porchester Civic Society and the Fareham Society, don't want it. This council doesn't want it. The existing wildlife certainly don't want it. We have a current 5-year land supply which has been proved. We have 6 previous refusals. Ever since I've been on this council, that's all we seem to deal with year on, went a bit quiet lately, but 6 previous refusals and 3 inspector appeal dismissals on this site to say it all. I think I've said enough, and I'd like to thank the officer for a very comprehensive report. Thank you.